I originally was just interested in it because I saw so many pictures of bands, and I was just like, these are great, but I think I would like to do it. And I started seeing more results, and I liked what I was coming up with, and the bands liked getting the photos, and it just became sort of a thing. And then I was going to do a photo show because I was working at Barnes & Noble, and they were like, we're going to put art on the wall. I'm like, I'll just put some photos up and see what happens. And I got a good response, and then just somehow I just kept going. Like if I'm a fan of a band, I'll try to seek out a photo pass.
This is a picture of the Mermaid Skeletons at one of their early house shows. This show was really good, and the house was super packed. I had a hard time gathering all the members. As you can see, there's lots of them, to gather in the staircase. Behind me was at least 50 people walking around in this small house. I really like it. It kind of captures the feeling of how close these guys are on stage.
I guess, being a musician myself, it just kind of, whenever I'm at a venue, I just felt like I needed to do something anyway. If I wasn't playing, I would be running sound or helping something, or if a guitar broke, I'd fix it, things like that. So like being a photographer just kind of felt natural. I don't feel like I'm at work. I feel like I'm enjoying myself.
Are there any photographers out there that you see that like, wow, I love his work, or
I definitely am influenced by a lot of photography, but I'm also influenced by art and music. When I see a band perform, I'm like, because that song was really good. That's where I'm getting my inspiration more.
The Hex Machine is a local Richmond band that I'm a big fan of. These guys play in several other bands as well. We thought it'd be funny if we took some press photos where they look like they were in pain. So they're actually laying down like there's something coming out, like Alien or something, busting out of the drummer's stomach. It's very fitting. They're a very fun band, and their music is not what you might expect by looking at this photo possibly.
It's extremely important to me to document something but still have my own style, and that is important to me because I want people to see my photos and be like, that looks like a PJ Sykes photo, but at the same time has the feeling of whatever's being portrayed.
I interviewed and did an article on Daniel Johnston for RVA Magazine a couple months ago, and I traveled to DC to meet him. He's a very, very funny and interesting guy. He's got lots of mental problems and that sort of thing. He's stabilized on medicine and stuff. And Daniel does a lot of artwork and draws lots of comics, so he bought all of these comics at the local comic book store, which is Velocity Comics, and we took him there, and he bought 3 whole boxes of these comics, and he just raved about the place, and most bands, I guess, and most artists you might think were drinking and having a good time backstage or whatever, doing all kinds of rock and roll type of things you might hear in stories, but he sat there and looked at comics for like 3 hours and was really entertained by that, and I just captured this moment of him on this huge leather couch in a room by himself with 3 boxes of comics.
It's important to show those things. I think a photo is a lot more honest if you're just being a straight up photo with art or anything. If you went to an event and nobody videoed it, nobody took a photo of it, and people only talked about it, well, after a year or so it becomes this bigger thing, like, man, you weren't there? Well, like the Sex Pistols' first show or something, like there's only like 30 people there probably, but it became this thing like, oh, you didn't see that show? Well, if you go down to a show now at the Camel and there's 30 people, well, there's probably at least one person take pictures, and they're going to take pictures and be like, oh, you weren't there? Click, oh, that didn't seem really exciting, or that seems really exciting, I can't believe I didn't go there. Either way, but definitely photos are a good way of showing that.
P-Lander Z originally hailed from Japan, and they moved to New York City. They've been featured on Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, as well as Upright Citizens Brigade and several other shows on Comedy Central. They're hilarious. There's P-Lander Yellow, Blue, and Red. They run around and they do human bowling and lots of crowd participation. This particular photo, P-Lander Yellow is holding the floor tom, while P-Lander Blue is making everybody dance around and hit the drums. This song on record is probably 2 minutes, but live it ended up being like 15 minutes with all the crowd playing drums and pots and pans and whistles. During the show, They actually ran out into Broad Street and almost got hit by traffic, and I ran after them and took pictures of them from the street, and some lady slowed down just to say, "That's dangerous, get out of the road."
Usually, a good show would be like 500 to 800 photos.
Wow.
And then you cut it down to like 50, 100.
So
And then of those 50, maybe like I really like 10 of them, and then like 4 of them are like amazing. Yeah, it can take several hours per show. So like if the show is like 3 or 4 hours long, and I go home, it's 3 or 4 more hours to go through the photos. Yeah. So.
Well, like other than like shows and bands, do you do any type of other photography, or are you mainly?
Yeah, I've done a lot of protests and things that, like political things that I see around town. Events that seem like they need to be captured and documented. I'll do that. I guess it's just the fact that there's something going on. It's independent or just grassroots. It seems like it's not being affiliated with something else. It's just people doing something it's something that they love doing, so they're out there doing it. I'm selling photos exclusively at Rumors, which is on Harrison Street. It's a great place. They have lots of cool stuff, records, shirts, stuff. You might be wearing some of it. My website is my name, pjsykes.com. You can always email me if you like something. I will write you back.